for in a little village called Kippenheim. Kippenheim is situated in southwestern Germany, very close to France and Switzerland. In fact, today you go with a little ferry, you're in Strasbourg. And at that time, the borders were absolutely closed. So I'm very close to France. In fact, people mail their mail. It's cheaper in France, and they go across the border and don't mail it from Germany, they mail it in France. My family had lived there for at least 100 years. Jews lived in Germany especially over 1,000 years. Over 1,000 years. They went to Poland when they were kicked out of Germany in the Middle Ages, and that's when they went to Poland and other countries, so forth. But in Germany, way over 1,000 years. They came with the Romans as traders, etc. So we didn't just come yesterday. And I was the last Jewish child born in this village of about 2,000 people, 60 Jewish families. Next. They had a big house, still standing. It's over 200 years old, this house. We owned it for at least 100 years. And when you look on the second floor, the last two windows, in that room I was born. My father said he wants his child to be born in the same house that he was born in. There were some hospitals nearby, but not in the village. We had one doctor who was not Jewish. His name was Dr. Weber. And he already belonged to the Nazi party. He came to my mother's bedside. She had a very bad pregnancy. For 9 months, it was a horror. And he came many times in his Nazi uniform. And the dichotomy of this whole thing was that he was a Nazi, he belonged to the party, but he still took very good care of his Jewish patients. And he gave me life. Later on, he did some horrible things, and he was in prison, probably the euthanasia program, where they killed people with mental difficulties, etc. Nice. And it's funny, the house has a history. It's really, I'm bringing it up to date. You just saw the royal wedding, right? You saw that, you know, the wedding. And you saw the guards with those beaver hats. Well, the house belonged, before my great-great-grandparents, whatever, bought it, by a tailor. His name was Stutz. And the son also became a tailor. And he went to England and got a job there by a German tailor shop. He inherited that, became very, very wealthy. And it is said that he made those hats. Either he designed them, which I doubt, I have to check that up, but he was responsible for those hats. So I was thinking, wow, up to date. And he was a good man. He came back, became a philanthropist. He gave money to the poor, flood relief, and built a hospital, which is no longer in existence. And to honor him, they built a monument to him, which I think I have a picture of. And there's a sign on the door. You can, I'll show you in a minute, on the door that says, this is the birthhouse of Georg Stutz von Ottenberg. It means he was knighted. At the end of his life, he was knighted, but he died in France. So I have this connection with this man born in a house that a wonderful man was born in. And now there's a plate next to his that I was born in that house too. Because I'm sort of the folk hero over there too. Because the book, my first book is read all over Germany, so they know. Sometimes the kids come to the mayor and they say, we want to see where Inge was born. So they said, here's the house, standing. And I have good relations with the people. My father had a car already. And I think my mother married him because he had a car. Because that was very important to a young woman, you know, a young girl. A beau who has a car, that's fantastic. So he had a car, and the doctor had a car. So my father was sort of a firebrand. I guess I'm his daughter. So I know I'm his daughter. Next. My father was a soldier in World War I. He was wounded quite badly, he would never be able to raise his right arm. So somebody said he could never say Heil Hitler, he couldn't raise his right arm. Well, we were not cowards. We fought in the wars. We were very patriotic Germans. That was the country, like we are patriotic Americans. We lived there for